Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio here. I really appreciate you joining me here today. We're going to do something that we've done before, but this one's going to be just a little bit different. Let me see if I can pull it up here on my computer. I'd love it if you're watching, if you'd hop on and say hi, tell me where you're watching from. I really appreciate knowing that I'm on the right page and in the right place at the right time. Today, I've got these wooden painting panels. Now what I've got here are 6x6 wooden painting panels, and there's 5 in a grouping, 5 in this pack, and they are 3/4 inch profile. So that means it has a backing on it here so that you can hang it on the wall if you'd like. So this could be a wall hanging. This can be a group of pretty shelf sitters. Be careful here that you can also just put on the shelf that are going to be very pretty once I get them done here. Now what am I going to do with these? I am going to put some paint on them first to prime them because these are unprimed wood. This is unprimed birch, and I have 5 of them here. I wish I had noticed first how many I need because I really would like to have had 6, but I can always go back and get some more of these little wood panels. Now this is a wood panel, as I said, and it is 6x6 with a 3/4 inch well in the back of it. And I'm first going to paint these white. And then what I'm going to do is I have these absolutely gorgeous napkins that my friend Carol Reynolds sent to me. Now there's a whole bunch of different ones, and I know this is backwards, of course, for you guys, so you'll be seeing how these actually look. This is going to be just showing you the process of how we're doing it. But how they're going to look when they get done, I'll make a picture for you. But this one says, created with purpose. This one says, with God, all things are possible. This one says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. This one here is, by wisdom a house is built, by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled, precious and pleasant, are filled with precious and pleasant wishes. And then this one here says, choose joy. So I'm going to be taking those 5 napkins and putting them on these wood panels once I'm done here. I'm also going to get it sort of a little bit of a distressed look too. So to get started, the first thing I need to do is to paint these white, and then we will let that dry. Hopefully they'll kind of dry quickly so that we can keep moving forward as fast as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get out some white paint. I'm going to paint these white. I'm going to do the sides of it as well. Get some, there we go. Do the sides of each one as well. Once they're dry, then we will put some Mod Podge on them and then let that dry. While we're doing all of this, we'll be taking the napkins and cutting off the piece that we need to put on the front of this. Now, once the Mod Podge is dried, we will be heating up the iron and putting these beautiful napkins onto these wood panels, and it'll make a wonderful wall hanging, or you can set them on the shelf, and they'll be beautiful sitting on the shelf also. So I'm just getting a layer of white on it as a primer. I want to get it all over there. And that way also the napkins will, sometimes the napkins will be kind of thin and you want a nice white base so it makes them pop better. So that would be the other reason for putting a nice paint on here, a nice layer of paint to help it show up better for your napkins. So I'm just going to do this real quick across the top of each one of these. Get this one real fast here. And then I will do the sides also in just a moment. Now I've got 5 to do. And we're on the 3rd. Hey Steve, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. Now, where did Carol find these napkins? To tell you the truth, I'm not really sure where these napkins come from. Maybe your local dollar store will have pretty napkins, and they don't have to be these specific napkins. You can buy the wood panels on Amazon is where I found the wooden panels. Those were not from the Dollar Tree or any dollar store. These were from Amazon. Although that's not to say that the Dollar Tree may not have these. They very well may have wood panels that you can use at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. But I purchased these from Amazon. After I got the napkins, I wanted something. I thought about just going and buying some wood, to tell you the truth. Thought about going up to Home Depot and just buying some wood and just having it cut. And then I thought, well, you know, having the weld back would make it nice to where you could just hang it on the wall very simply and very quickly. And, you know, they're already sanded and smooth, and I don't have to do anything other than just prime them and get going. So I thought, well, that might be the better of the choices here. Just buy these panels so that this could be a pretty wall hanging. And it wouldn't require me to have to go and get them cut. Well, I'm getting a little, I'm going to need more white paint out to get the sides. A little bit of water in there. There we go. Now this seems to be drying pretty quickly, honestly. I can see that those two over there are dried pretty fast. So that's a good thing. And keep moving forward. I'm going to do this one's sides real fast. Okay. Now do the side. I'm just going to take it right around the sides of it. Try not to have big glob hanging on the back. Very easy to paint, and the paint, it's not going to require a second layer. I can tell that just by looking. The paint just is, it's making a nice coverage that you don't have to even worry about. Let me just turn this over here quickly. Hit this side real fast. Okay. Now this one, I'm going to exchange it with this one right here that may have the driest top at this point. We'll get the sides of it done. Probably should have done the sides at the time that I did the top. That would be the most uniform way for drying, wouldn't it? But then again, I'm just painting as I go. There we go, turn this. And also there's some paint that's over the edges from where I painted them on the top that needs to be smoothed down as well. Okay. Better line coverage on that one. Okay. Don't know what that pink thing is on there, but the top of that appears to be pretty well dried. One there. This will be going pretty quickly, I think. Just have to rinse this off and then we can Mod Podge. While the Mod Podge is drying, we will be able to take care of our napkins, cut them off and cut them up, get them ready to be put on with the iron, and then we'll have beautiful, quick and simple wall hangings from a napkin. The last one on this one. Okay, put that one down. So now, like I said, I'm not sure where the napkins came from. You can always try to Amazon, look for maybe Bible verse napkins or scripture napkins or something along that line. Check your local store. I'm not sure where they came from. But they are certainly beautiful, and I so appreciate Carol sending them to me. I want to make good use of them. That's also where I got those really cool watermelon napkins I've been using that you've seen on a few different crafts that I've done here recently. Those watermelons. Those were also from Carol, as was the pink and green checked that I used on the door hanger that had the watermelon on it. The watermelon round. Okay, so last one here. And we're going to rinse the brush real quick. I may need to get just the smallest amount of white to get one more. I'll get 2 drops out of there, that's all. I think that'll do it. We'll see. I have to get more or not. I think that ought to do it. Because we're just wanting to at least put a layer on here as the primer for the wood. Yeah, I know you heard that go by. We do live on a busy road. Fire department is right down the street. The police department is right up the street. Makes for a lot of noise, but I guess in the long run it's a good place to be. Have them either way. Okay, just this one right here. And then we're going to rinse the brush if I don't knock my palette off the table here. Use my arm to hold it. Now, we've got fairs that we can be going to right now in our area. We've got our Ohio State Fair is going on near Columbus. We've also got the Hamilton County Fair that's going on. That's not far at all from where we live. That's in Carthage. And, of course, we've got local festivals going on. That's just right up the street, actually not too far. Planning on doing one of them or something along here. I'm going to pull that off of there, since that's going to come off anyway, and just paint it white. There we go. That looks pretty good. This one's got some paint around the edges of it. We want that to dry as quickly as possible here. Right around the top. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this, and we're going to put Mod Podge on it and then start messing with our napkins. So rinse this brush off here. Get this out right here. See if I can get my Mod Podge to open. I should have checked this before I got up here. Yeah, I can. Good. A lot of times I have some issues with that, you know. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a layer of Mod Podge on the tops of these. I'm not going to put it on the sides. I only want it on the top. So I'm just going to put it right here across the top of this one. And I want a nice layer of it. It'll dry pretty quickly. Honestly, it dries pretty fast. Do want to get it all the way around the edges, though. I'm going to go in this direction. You first want to put it on, put it in one direction, go back over it in the other direction, and that way you make sure you've got a full coverage. Okay. Now this one's ready to dry. Let's move on to this one right here. I'm going to go in this direction first. Just get that back over here. going to go again in this direction here. Make sure I'm getting a nice even coverage on that. There we go. I am being fairly generous with this on this wood, to tell you the truth. I don't want it all over the out edges. I just want it to be nice and fully covered. So I'm going to put it across this way. And then I'm going to bring it this way. And if it appears there's some going over the edge, I'm just going to take my finger and swipe that off. There we go. Okay, and just keep moving forward here. I've got 2 more to go. That's got a little piece of something pink on it. Came off of that table. Put that on the top. Don't need it on the outside edge. Back and forth. Go one way and then the other. Just take your finger and rub around the edge of it. One more, and we're ready to mess with the napkins. Can you guys see where I'm at this point on this 5th one here? I know you know what I'm doing here. I know I haven't turned you down and focused you in and all of that stuff yet, so I'm just getting this layering on here. And there's a run right there. I'm just going to pull that off. Right along the edge. Okay, that's pretty good for that. I'm going to put that in water. Put the lid on this. I'm going to turn on my little craft iron at this point. Get this little palette out of my way. Give me a moment here as I bend and plug this in. All right. Turn this little guy all the way up. Now I'm going to get to my 5 pretty napkins here. What I need to do for these, I'm going to take my scissors. Now these napkins only have it on one piece, so I really don't have to worry about trying to save any other portion of this napkin. I just need this one square, and that's it. So I'm just going to cut it directly across right there. Open it up and just cut this piece here. And the napkin is a little bit bigger than my wooden block, so I don't have to worry too much about that either. So I'm going to get this piece here, and I'm going to peel the backing off of it. My fingers got quite a bit of white paint on them. Appears that it may have actually 2 layers. I think there's another layer. That doesn't look thin enough to be. Yep. So sometimes you got to watch with napkins. Sometimes there'll be just 1 layer in the back. And then another time there'll be 2 layers, up to 3 layers actually I've found. I've had 3-layer napkins. So you can usually tell when you're down to that final layer because you can see through it so well. But that's what you're looking for, that final layer. You don't need all of that. Unless you kind of like that wrinkled look. I know some people actually kind of like that wrinkled look. And if that's the case, then you can leave another layer on underneath it, put it on there, and take your fingers and just kind of touch it a little bit and get it kind of mushy somewhat. That'll give it that kind of antique regal sort of look to it. I'm just going to continue doing this to all of the napkins here. Just going to cut this one in half too, because all of them are just the one panel. Cut this one open right here. And I guess I actually could have had this to where I already had it painted and had the Mod Podge already put on it and already had my napkins all cut out and everything was all quite prepared and ready. But then again, then that doesn't really show you how I'm doing it, does it? It just kind of shows you the after effects of what I've gotten done so far. So I'm starting you on square one, right where I am when I'm doing a craft. Peeling my papers, painting my blocks, waiting for that to dry, putting on my Mod Podge, heating my iron. This is how it really works. So, I hope you enjoy that with me. Hey Nancy, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we are actually on vacation right now. We just haven't made it out of town yet. But that is the plan. We will be going out of town. But right now, we're still here. We're going to go to the fair this afternoon. Oh, there we go. I'm getting both layers at once, maybe. Or am I simply tearing up my napkin? Ooh, it's kind of sticking to it. There we go. Now it turned loose. There we are. There we go. Sometimes they hang on pretty well. You got to be careful with them. Just take your time. Just take your time when you're doing it. Woohoo! It's trying to get away from me. I'm going to work around this way and then down. There we go. Got 2 to go, guys, and that's it. Just cut this up the side here. Across the top. See if I can get this little backing started here where it looks the easiest. Sometimes you gotta rough up a corner. These are two extra. I'm just getting both layers at one time. Comes off a little bit easier if you try to get them both. There we go. Last one. Are these dry yet? That's not right there. I can see that. Let's go around the edge here. This one should be. It is. We're going to start with that one. Cut this off. Come here, you. I can see it. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to put these. Oh, there went one of them. Come here, you. Right there. I'm going to use this one. It's trying to roll up. It's rolling up in a little ball. Let me pick this up and move it off to the side just a little bit. Move my old coffee over here, maybe. Enjoy a sip of that while I'm at it. Let's get this one over here. I'm going to tilt you down a little bit so you can see a little better what I'm doing. Oops, sorry about that. There. I'm not going to zoom you all the way in, but that ought to work right there. I'm going to grab a piece of parchment paper while I'm at it. Now, you want to make sure that you're doing something like this with a parchment paper, not wax paper. A wax paper is exactly what it implies. It has wax on the top of it, so if you use wax, the wax will melt. That's not what you're wanting to do here. You're not wanting to wax this on. So what you're going to do is you're going to place this on here where you want it to be seated, where you want it to go. Now I need to see about how far in each direction. That looks pretty straight. Might need to come over this way just a smidge. Okay. That looks about where I want it to be, so I'm going to place it on here first. Now it is a delicate napkin, so for the delicate napkin, I am going to use my parchment paper and place that right on the top of it. Scoot these guys down just a wee bit. Place that right on the top of it. Got my iron, and I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm just using a nice firm pressure. And get every corner real well. Looking to see if the table is making the camera shake all over. Sometimes the table and the table will be right against the camera stand, and the camera will be shaking like wild while I'm doing this stuff. That's not what I'm wanting to happen here. Okay. I think that should be on there pretty well. It is on there. It is smooth as it can be. There's not a wrinkle on it anywhere. It's just as smooth as it can be. Okay, so now let's do another one real fast. Move this one over here. Get this next one down here. And this one says, "With God, all things are possible." This one has a larger print on it that comes almost to the very, very edge. In fact, it does come to the bottom here, so let me pull it up just a smidge. Is that exact now? That's right at that corner. It's got a small amount of white, very small amount of white. And we're going to go with it right there. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get a better placement than where I got it right there. Just work it up, out to the edge. Going from the middle out. You can do this with any napkins that you happen to have and wood panels. This is very simply done. Need paint to prime it with, and Mod Podge to adhere it with, and an iron and parchment paper. And if you don't have and want to do the iron and the parchment paper, you can literally put that napkin on there while that Mod Podge is wet. It just has much more of a chance of wrinkling. But you can smooth it out. You just have to work on it and be very patient. I have yet to develop patience, so I'm doing it this way. Okay. There's another one that's on there, just completely with no wrinkles whatsoever. See how simple that is? Go with this one. This one's flowers will go over both ends. I'm just looking for this little gray edging on it. Where is it to be placed? Okay, it looks like it needs to come over this way a little more. That looks good. Got a little wrinkle in it, so I'm peeling it up, and I'm going to use my hand to smooth that. I don't know if you can see those little wrinkles, but I'm going to catch them before I get to ironing. I'm going to work them from the middle. I'm working them from the middle out. Okay. Working from the middle out. Let's see how this one does. Oh, I can see right there. That was curled up. Need to fold that back down before we get to ironing on there. Hopefully this one's got no wrinkles. We're going to see here how that worked out. Get around the edges. All right. Ah. No wrinkles. How lovely. It's got like a piece of hot glue stuck to it, but that shouldn't be there. Are you dry yet? Not completely. How about you? That one's a little more dry. We'll go with this one next and you'll be last. Okay. Let's get this one on here. Now, this one really doesn't have an edging that you can decide where the ends are, so I'm just going to have to try to get this part here in the middle, as much in the middle as possible. Take my fingers and just rub it down a little bit, try to help make sure it doesn't have wrinkles, at least in the wording. Okay, let's try it. Right from the middle out. Like I said, just using a firm pressure. Now, as you notice, each one of them's hanging over the edge. How will we take care of that? We're going to use a sanding block. It'll be very simple. You want to make sure you get these all the way around the edge so that when you use the sanding block, it doesn't rip it up all around the edges. That's why you're pressing down there on each side, right around the edges. Came out beautiful. Last one. Is that all the way to the edge? Yeah, it is. That's just coming up there on the side. Let's get this one on here. Now you can see it's got some pink right there on the edge. The print, where the print was like that, so we're going to scoot that over just a little bit to where it's not getting that. Kind of using that as my guideline right there. And you can see we're going to miss part of the flower down here. We're going to try to get most of the flower right there at the top. Okay. Nope, see that? I'm going to lift that up. Work this down. Still trying to do that right there. Okay, well, we're going to go with it and see how good we can get it done. Smooth yourself out there, thing. Okay. Nope, no wrinkles on that one either. How perfect is that? That's great. Okay, so now we just got a little bit of housekeeping to do on these. We're going to put this one off to the side and let him cool off for a moment. Bring this one back. Gonna get a little sanding block. Let's go around the outside of each one of them. Pull it down a little harder in just a couple of spots. It wants to hang, but that's no problem. We're just going to get it just like that. Complete. Doesn't that look great? Just like that. Get this one. And that's about as easy as it gets, isn't it? Look how pretty those would be stuck on the wall. Up. Last one. You could do just 4. You could get another one. You could have 6 to put on the wall. You could stagger them. You could do them in many different ways. You could set them on the shelf, put 3 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Any way you look at it, it makes some beautiful home decor. There they all are. Can you see all of them? I don't know. Let me zoom you out just a little bit. There. Just some really pretty home decor made with simple wood panels and beautiful spiritual napkins. Pretty Bible verses. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.